Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 12 through 20. Throughout 7 and 8, Jesus is in Jerusalem. He's at the temple. He's teaching about the Son of Man, about himself. And there's some disagreement about who he is. And so once again, he says to them, I am the light of the world. This is a divine statement. I am. And what he tells us is what you have if you follow him, if you believe in him, and what you will have, what you also are going to be able to avoid when you have him at the center of your life. And so if you know Jesus is the light of the world, you'll never walk in darkness. Just as if he's the bread of life for you, you'll never hunger or thirst. And instead, if he's the light of the world, you will have the light of life. If he's the bread of life, you have life. So Jesus is offering us light and life. The Pharisees challenge him. Your testimony is not valid. Based on what? Based on them. Why is Jesus' testimony valid? As he tells us in verse 14, I know where I came from, and I know where I am going. Jesus has certainty about who he is and where he's going because he's from beyond the law. He is in the realm of God, right? And whereas we live in constant human uncertainty. And Jesus says to them, you have no idea where I'm from, where I'm going. You know nothing beyond the veil of human life. You only know this limited patch of existence. And so he says in verse 15, you judge by human standards. Now I want you to think about that. We judge Jesus out of our human ignorance. It's like a rock evaluating and judging the sun. I mean, you think you know something, you really are limited. And then he goes on to say, I don't pass judgment on anyone. If I do judge, my judgments are true because it's not me alone, it's the Father. If I judge, it's true. And the thing is that Jesus doesn't judge you and me by human standards. He judges us by the standards of eternity. And in fact, Jesus sees you and me through the lens of the crucifixion. He sees you and me through the lens of what it cost to redeem us from the death, the sin, and the demonic. And that's why he goes on to say, in your own law, it's written that you must have the testimony of two witnesses. I'm the one who testifies to myself because of his work on the cross. He gives witness to who he is. And my other witness is the Father who sent me to do this work on the cross. And then they say, well, where's your Father? And he says, you don't know my Father. If you knew me, you would know the Father. And this is such an important idea because, Jesus is constantly saying, I point to the Father. And the place in which he's pointing us all is to the cross and the resurrection. They try to grab him and arrest him, but as John says so often, his hour had not yet come. We are coming to that point, and that hour is going to be on the cross. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.